Hello again. As you know, it's me, and it's time to start my little thingy again. I don't know how many videos I've uploaded, but I don't think I've uploaded any when I'm sitting in a chair. So, for today's video, as you can see in the title, I'm going to be talking about the idea of love in America versus Japan. The idea of love in America, I think, seems very concrete and very, this is what it is, this is what everybody should think it is, but that's not true. Love is very different to many different people across the world. I've thought a lot about this video, mainly because I know as a foreigner, I don't know everything about Japan. I really know very little about Japan other than the things I have learned through my Japanese friend. And I do plan to go there this summer, and I will hope to J-vlog then. And this is just a kind of intro into that. I know love is a very hard concept to talk about in general, but I felt like if I talked about it in another context, in another culture, it would help me gain an understanding of my own ideas of love. One thing I know about Japan is their relationships are expressed very differently, and they're not very open about their feelings like we are in America. I was in science club with my Japanese friend, and our teacher had like these little lollipop things, and she was like, take one, you can take more if you have like brothers or sisters or something. So I was like, hey, why don't you get one for your little brother? And she just looked up at me and said, why? And I was just kind of like, well, why not? And she was like, why should I get one for my brother? And I was like, well, it'd just be a nice thing to do to show your love or whatever. And she got really confused at the word love, and obviously she knows the translation between love and the daisuki, usuki, aimashita. It's kind of vaguely translated anyways, so it's a hard concept to translate because, like I said, love, it's love. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I thought she was joking. So we left science club, and I started to ask her about love in Japan, basically. And I asked her if she loved her brother, because I hadn't really said that. I just kind of mentioned the show your love or whatever, because that was the thing she got weirded out by. So I was like, do you love your brother? And she was like, I don't know, maybe. And that really shocked me. So I was like, okay, let's ask a different question. Do you love your mom? And she said, yeah, probably. And that was another thing that just kind of blew me away, because I was like, there should be no hesitation. I know that's just my way of thinking, and that's what I have been brought up to believe, that if you don't love your mother, you have a stressed relationship with her. Or if you don't say you don't love anybody in your family, it feels like you have a stressed relationship, or a relationship that is just not healthy. But that's not true in Japan, because they just don't say that they love each other, even though I feel like they do. I mean, they may not say it every day like we do. I feel like in America, we have to have constant reassurance that our partner still loves us, and I know that's a really bad way to think about it, but that's the only idea that comes to mind when I think of love. And I explained that to her, that, you know, usually you just say you love your family. You love your mother, your brother, your sister, your father, blah, blah. I told her that I told my mom or my boyfriend that I loved them at least once a day, or more than once a day. That just kind of blew her away. I could tell that it seemed very alien and exhausting to say I love you once a day or more, because I can understand that if you're not used to using that phrasing every day, it could get tiring in normal conversation. But in America, we just don't view it that way because it's how we've been brought up. It's our culture. It's not new to us. Hey, look, I changed shirts in the middle of my speech. Well, no, I didn't change shirts. I just took off my sweatshirt. I got in the car and I was riding with my friend, and she told her mom about the conversation we had, and her mom said that she hadn't said she loved her husband since they got married. And I was just like, whoa, how do you get through a relationship like that? But as I have never been in a Japanese relationship, I can not be an accurate judge of whether that is normal or not. It just blew me away. I just thought that was crazy. And I know I'm using the phrase, it blew me away, a lot in this sentence, but like, I don't know any other synonym for that phrase that would be accurate. So the next day I was talking to my friend, and she said that she told her little brother that she loved him. And his response was, what's wrong with you? And I was just like, okay, that's odd to me. Even though I can see how some people in America would react that way if their older sister if their older sister said that they loved them just out of the blue. But they would probably say, I love you too, instead of what's wrong with you. And her mom also told her dad that she loved him, and he turned really red and didn't say anything back, and I thought that was really funny. Long story short, I guess that it's really just a cultural difference. I don't feel like we feel those feelings any differently. I feel like they just don't express them as openly as we do in America. She told me later that she does love her family, and that she just wasn't kind of comprehending what I was saying, and it was a hard thing to talk about, I guess. I think in America, we're more open to say how we feel because we're conditioned to. I also think we say it because we hear it in almost every movie and TV show, at least once a season or once a movie show. I mean, maybe not for like some action or superhero movie, even though almost every superhero movie has a love line, which is kind of ridiculous. I can understand how people in another culture might think it's quote-unquote exhausting to say I love you every day, or even just a couple times a day, but it comes so naturally to me, so I can't just stop saying I love you how often I do it, the way I feel it, because I do say it sincerely, and I do feel like I really love the people I say I love you to. So I thought this was an interesting topic to share with you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. I might make some other videos about Japan and what I know about Japanese culture. So I'll see you later.